everybody. Welcome back to another Girlfriends Chit Chat. You know, y'all, we always come on every Friday night. We're going to sit here and chat it up because we got our phenomenal women that's going to be here with us tonight. But with no further ado, we're not going to take any more time because we want to get this show started tonight. My name is Amira Bay. I am the host of the Girlfriends Chit Chat show. And on this platform, we talk about life, business, and everything in between because, you know, girlfriends, we like to chat it up and have that real in-depth conversation. But we've got an amazing guest that's going to be with us this evening, and you want to dive deep tonight into this conversation. But let me go ahead and bring my girlfriend on here with me tonight. Come on in here, Miss Leslie Thomas of She Promotes Network.
What's going on? How's it going, guys? What's happening?
Not much, girl. You know, another week, girl. Another week is over.
It has been a crazy week, but I'm happy to be here. Let's get it going.
Yes, girl. Yes, you know, we got to chat it up on our Friday nights, girl. We got to dive deep because we have some phenomenal guests that's going to be guests with us tonight. So, Miss Avalor, you know, y'all, we got to chat it up tonight because Miss Avalor Gaithers is going to be with us this evening. But you know what? Before we bring her in the room, I kind of want to educate you all a little bit about who she is. Miss Avalor Gaithers is an international celebrity life coach, an intuitive consultant with a background in social work, mental health, and counseling. She has a bachelor's degree in psychology and a master's degree in social work. If that wasn't enough for you to know about her, she is also a trained Reiki master, teacher, a certified life coach, and a spiritual counselor. She's a hypnotherapist. Now. A holistic aromatherapist, and a yoga and meditation instructor. Now, y'all, that's a mouthful. But she has over 15 years experience of speaking, as well as creator of 2 soul storying podcasts, Avalor, Heal My Life, and Black Woman Leave America, which you can listen to on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and many more. You know, y'all, I like to have an in-depth conversation because I'm telling you something, y'all, it's a mouthful. But I want to bring her in the room. Come on in here, Miss Avalor. Come on in here.
Hello, ladies.
Hey there.
Yes. You know, see y'all something. Every time I talk about somebody, I love for them to come on and kind of give us a good snippet, I always say, of who they are. Because a lot of times when you read people's bios and you tell information about them, it's not really telling who they are, you know, a lot of times. So tell our guests a little bit about you and what you do.
Yeah, well, first of all, I want to say I'm glad I chose this head wrap because it matches the background really beautifully. I just noticed that. I was like, oh, okay. I chose this.
Girl, you look good, girl, anyway. You look good.
Beautiful.
That's the intuitive part. Okay, I was like, I'm wearing this one today. Yes. But as you said, my name is Avalor, and I am a celebrity life coach and intuitive consultant. All the things that you Reiki master, teacher, aromatherapist, hypnotherapist, all that stuff. And that just speaks to my journey. You know, what I really do is help people from whole to wholeness in their life, relationships, business, and career. I work with a lot of high achievers, mental health professionals, entrepreneurs, CEOs, and really helping them with their soulful self-care, helping them to show up and show out and be the best leaders, the best entrepreneurs, the best professionals that they can possibly be so that they can serve their clients and their audience and also take care of themselves and their families and everything that we have going on as women, right? And really all of that came from my own personal healing journey, if you will. Like you said, just after I got all those degrees and found myself in the mental health system as a social worker and realizing that the system wasn't really set up to help people heal, but really just set up to help people to maintain their dysfunction.
Yes.
And I wanted to make an impact. I wanted to help people heal. And so I set out on my own journey of who am I? You know, what are my gifts? What is my purpose? How can I best serve? And Avalor's Healing Center and all the work that I've been doing thus far is what, you know, I came about after I took my own 6-month healing sabbatical.
I love that. I love it.
I love it because I'm all about self-care. I think we fall short in that area. We don't really take care of ourselves like we should. We don't really take time out to really seek ourselves out. You know how we function every day. And we're that, you know, people always say, who are you? And you're like, well, I'm who I am, you know, but who are you?
Right. We'll say mother, you know, I'm a teacher, I'm a daughter, right? A wife.
Yes.
Right? All of those things can be taken away. So who are you at your core?
I think that's hard because
I can't even answer the question.
See, even me, and I tell people, be transparent and be honest with yourself. I really haven't dug deep enough to really seek that side of me out because I'm functioning in a revolving door.
Right.
That's the first step, is acknowledging that and understanding that. And here's the truth. You're not alone, because most people don't really do this work until they're in a situation where they feel like they have to. Right. When the pain is so great, where they're like, you know what, I can't live like this anymore.
Right.
And so, people talk about COVID and all, and it was a horrible time. But for me, it was probably one of the biggest booms in my business, because it was a time out that people had to say, you know what? I have not been living my life the way that I want to.
Yeah.
This is not working for me. And now I have this time. What am I going to do with myself?
Right.
And so you had the time to just sit down, right? Yeah. Just sit down with yourself and say, okay, something has got to change. Exactly. But there's usually some pain point. You hate your job, marriage is over, heartbreak, something happens, sometimes traumatic things happen. And it's like, it's a wake-up call to say, you know what, I have to do things differently. It's got to be more to life than this.
Exactly. You know what? I've often been told that your next level feels like pain. Your next level feels like suffocation while you're actually in the journey. You talked about, this whole quarantine time. I've seen more businesses birth. I've seen people become more in tune to themselves during this period, because all you had was to sit down. You couldn't do anything. And maybe that was the purpose. A lot of people lost things, and that's so unfortunate. But at the same time, there was so much more I feel like we gained. I gained a sense of self, because, even at my age, I still feel like, man, people ask me, so girl, what do you like to do? I don't know.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I seriously don't know. I have gone through life. I've traveled. I've lived abroad for 6 years. I've done all of that. But at my core, if you ask me, I know what my passions are, but who am I? I'm still on that journey. I really am. I'm still on that journey. And that's my transparent moment, because I don't know what I truly, truly, truly like.
Yeah, that's real. I mean, it's so real. And I'm glad that you said that and really talked about, the dark and the light, right? Because it was almost like the light being birthed from the dark.
Yeah.
And we need that dichotomy. It's always the dark and the light, the up and the down, right and wrong, like the opposites, and what's birthed out of that.
Right.
And there's always greatness that is birthed through pain if you allow it.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something I noticed is during being in quarantine, relationships, the divorce rate was at its highest.
Yes.
And I had one of my girlfriends say her husband and her were like ships in the night, because he worked day shift, she worked night shift. And they met like in the middle, but then it wasn't. But when they were shut up in the house together, it was like, I don't know you. Like, who are we? What are we? And I think that's another side to identifying with who we are as individuals. I thought I knew who I was in my marriage, in my relationship. And it was kind of sad to see the dysfunction. Some people grew, some people moved in together, things like that. But what did you realize in some of your clients in regards to their relationship with their spouses that they found difficult during all that?
Good question.
That was a huge one, because I do relationship coaching as well, and that's what I was on. If some of y'all saw the Real Housewives of Potomac, I was on.
Girl, that's my show.
Yeah, so Karen and her husband, and so I really I had some sessions with them.
Right.
And the reality is, human beings are human beings. We're all going through the same stuff. It might look differently, but we're all going through the same stuff at our core. And a lot of it, well, first of all, let me just say that during COVID and with the relationships, all the distractions were removed.
Yes.
And so you can have all these problems and all these dysfunctions, but when you're going through the motion of life is a distraction.
Right.
So you're going to work, you're going home, you're going to the bar, you're going out with your friends, you going sports games, whatever, all this stuff. So you have all these distractions going on, so you don't have to deal with it.
Yes.
Right. So now you're in a situation where all that has been cut off.
Right.
And so now you have to sit and deal with it, and you start seeing from a different lens because you can't go anywhere. You can't avoid it. You can't just, you know what, I don't feel like dealing with this right now, so I'm just going to leave.
Right.
You couldn't do that.
That's right.
And so a lot of what my clients and what a lot of people started seeing is that, and I'm going to just be real with y'all, they don't even like each other.
Yes. Yes, that was it. That was it. She realized she didn't like her husband
at all.
They don't. And here's the thing: I can relate to that. I've been married. I was married 14 years. I've been divorced now for the last 5-6 years, and I got married at 26. Who I was at 26 was very different than who I was at 36. It was very different than who I was at 40, and so. It's the same thing. And so you get married. Now, a lot of people, even when they get married, don't really know each other. And they get married for all the wrong reasons. They think it's the right reasons, but it's all the wrong reasons. They have no idea what marriage really entails. They have no idea what they really want in a marriage and in a relationship and in a covenant of that sense. And so, you get all of that. But then there's all these changes along the way because hopefully, you're changing and growing as you get older. And so a lot of times it is a growing apart. It is a change in value systems. It is a change in, wow, I've been living my life for everybody else. This isn't even what I want. And how do I even figure out what I want? And once you start realizing that what you now have is not what you want, there's that dissolution, that process start to happen because women check out years before we leave.
You better go on,
one more time.
Years.
Because I don't know if I could. I don't know. I mean, like I say, I don't know if I could be shut up in the house with my husband like that. I don't think.
Girl, no.
Because I've been married for 20 years, and you're right. I married at 24. Yeah. I am not the same person, and I even tell people, married at 24, you don't even know yourself.
I tell my millennial clients and zillennials, I'm like, don't get married when you're in your 20s. Don't do it. Wait till you have a solid foundation of who you are and what you want out of life.
I didn't get married until 34. I had traveled. I had done all of that, had an absolute blast. But even in that moment, I still feel like now, it's almost like the coming to America syndrome. I like whatever you like. I want whatever you want. And then one day you wake up, you like, I don't even like mashed potatoes, but you like them because Joe Blow liked them.
Yeah, because he liked them.
And so it really is to me a birthing of Leslie now. I'm getting ready to be an empty nester. My daughter's going off to college, and now I'm having to rediscover. I like the way this guy said it. Yesterday's Leslie is not today's Leslie.
That's right.
We're talking totally different. So it really is now like an awakening. I'm like, God, what do I like? Do I like this? Do I like that? Do I not like this? Do I not like that? And I see, and what's funny is that a lot of times I know, because I graduated in social work, got my undergrad in it, but I quickly left, and I'll tell you why.
I didn't last long either.
Girl. I realized my professor pulled me to the side. I'm talking last semester. And she said, I don't think you're gonna do well in this field. And I said, really? And because I was so emotionally caught up in my clients.
Yeah.
I didn't tap out.
So you're an empath.
Yes. I never tapped out. I took everything home. I internalized it. And I lost myself. It was the best decision I did was to walk away because I didn't know how to separate. I was everybody's issue. I think even on some level now, I think I internalize what people feel because I'm that person. If you hurt and I'm crying with you, girl, I don't know if I can be no help because we crying together. You know what I'm saying? So it really is crazy. I mean, so what do you find with women as they're making these transitions out of this pandemic? What are you hearing now? What are women going through?
Yeah, I mean, you described it perfectly. So first of all, let me just say the word for that. You're an empath. So you're a feeler. You can take on other people's emotions. And that's so not uncommon. I work with a lot of healers. I work with a lot of mental health professionals, social workers. And we went into this field because we feel, right?
Yes.
But it does become a problem when you start taking that on and you don't know how to release it and figure out, well, what's your stuff and what's somebody else's stuff.
Right.
And so, yeah, that's what I love Reiki and energy healing, because it's really, really good for that. But in terms of women, what it's a lot of rediscovering.
Yes.
It's a lot of rediscovering. It's a lot of internal healing.
Yeah.
The questions that we've been asking, that we've been talking about. It's a lot of, I don't have to live the way my parents lived, or
Right.
my
Yes.
grandparents lived, like the model that was set for us.
Right.
I get to determine a new model for myself, because that is not working for me.
Right.
And now I have to develop the courage and the confidence to step out and rediscover myself and choose how I really want to live my life on my own terms.
Yes. Yes.
That's just finding your voice.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's finding your voice.
But then exercising it. Because you can find it all day long, but if you're not speaking up.
Yes.
Yeah, I was an introvert. I was an introvert, and my husband is an extrovert all day, every day, sun up to sundown, every day of the week. But I was an introvert, so I wasn't.
Look at you with a talk show.
But you know what that came from? I'm gonna tell you something. You pick up your traits. I began to take on a lot of my husband's personality traits. And you used to always tell me, you give a person chance after chance after chance. I said, but I keep finding cheeks to give you. I'm giving you this cheek, that cheek. He said, I'm sorry, after this cheek, we done. It's not, he said, you allow people to step all over you. I said, no, but I'm a forgiver. I'm a forgiver. I will forgive you regardless of the circumstance. I forgive you regardless. And that's who I've always been. But as I began to develop a relationship with him, I started to take on those, nah, we ain't going to do that today.
You started enforcing boundaries.
Right. And I wasn't used to doing that.
Yeah.
I wasn't used to that. Yep. And then having kids, then it kind of went a whole different direction. But I had to get that thick skin. I had to grow that thing real fast, because people were taking advantage of me and I wasn't even seeing it.
Yeah. What did my mother tell you? My mother said that takers have no limits. That's why you have to settle.
Yeah. That's true.
Takers will take all day long and have no limitations. But true. Baby, the second you decide to set a boundary, they're like, oh, you setting boundaries?
I know.
That's the best lesson that I've learned. Because I'm a giver and I will give. And I naturally feeling, and I'll be like, oh, it's okay. Forget about me. I think God's purpose is that we understand our value, and the love that we give out, we deserve it back.
That's
and
true.
That's where I am. I can't just keep pouring out all of who I am to others, and then I'm left empty, because when I go back to the well, there's nothing left for me. That may come across harsh, that may come across tough for those out there. But the problem is that I feel like I created the issue because I allowed them to do that. And now that I'm setting the boundary, they're like, you acting funny. Nope, I'm not acting funny.
That's true.
Not acting funny.
But how do you do that? The thing about it is, though, how do you find yourself when are your clients more receptive to instruction? Because a lot of times, sometimes we're not too on board with your plan.
You don't want to hear about yourself, right?
Like, I don't like him. Okay, but you want me to like him today, right? Okay.
Yeah, somebody put a mirror in your face and you like, no, but that's not there. It's right there. Yeah. Leslie, I mean, you're so on point. That's one of my favorite quotes, that givers have to set limits because takers rarely do.
Yeah.
And so it is your responsibility. And I hear that a lot because the majority of my clients are women. Yeah. And so I hear that so much, that so-and-so did this to me. My husband did this, or this is going on in my marriage. And, I say it all the time. You teach and train people how to treat you.
Yes.
So you taught them that behavior was okay.
That's right.
And the minute you teach them a different behavior, they're going to have to act differently. But here's the thing about boundaries. You can't just do it once. You can't just do it twice. Right. You have to keep doing it over and over. Right. Because if you have traditionally been a giver or a people pleaser and allowing people to take advantage of you, what happens is they're like children. They will test you.
Yes.
Oh, okay, she said no this time, but I'm gonna get her next time.
Yeah.
You know how kids do. Kids know, they know very well, right?
Yeah, they know the game
Yeah.
to play.
And that's what they'll do, and they'll try to, and they'll keep coming at you because they're used to you behaving a certain way, and they're used to getting over, and they
Right.
don't want to let that go. And so you
Right.
have to continue to enforce your boundaries.
Right.
And it doesn't have to be mean, it doesn't have to be nasty. You know, you don't have to even raise your voice.
Right.
That's the thing. I mean, you can be subtle, you can be soft spoken, but it is you just making sure that you continue to speak up, to allow people to say, this is how I want to be treated. This is how you treat me. This is the list.
Right.
And if you don't, here are the consequences.
Right.
I will not be in your life, or I will not be in your life in the same way.
Right.
But there are going to be consequences to those actions if you don't treat me this way.
Right. Thank you. Is letting them know up front so that they're not shocked by the response, because Shauna, hey Shauna, she made the comment, she said it's a shock to their system.
Yeah.
And it is, because
It is.
whether it be your husband, it be your children, they know when you change and shift. And it's not easy for them because you've been this one way for so long. They expect to have your time. If they call you, they want it done. If they need to go somewhere, that you need to be there. I find that is tougher for them than it is for you, because again, it's like the divorce. You've already made up in your mind that I need to make this transition, and you start giving it to them in baby, motions, right? And then you're testing the water to see, oh, okay, are they gonna get it? Are they gonna get it? And then some of us, because we are pleasers, we're like, well, maybe I need to pull back because I don't want them to feel some type of way because I did it. So then you revert back, but then you realize, wait a minute, I'm not happy in this space. So you go back out again. What is your process when someone contacts you and say, Ms. Avalor, I need your services? What does that process look like when they meet you for the first time?
Yeah, so typically they can go on my website and schedule a consultation. And that's the best first step. And so then I can kind of get a sense of who they are, what they're experiencing, and what kind of help they need. And then I can best direct them, like, oh, okay, well, you would really benefit, you're a healer, or, we talk about you're an empath, you would really benefit from Reiki training, so you learn how to control your energy and master your own energy. Or, you know what, okay, you're going through this with your husband, okay, maybe we might want to do some relationship coaching. Or you're doing this internal work and this internal healing and rediscovering yourself and redefining yourself, then okay, we really need some life coaching. And that would include really understanding your feelings, your thought process, how to set those boundaries in a healthy way, because it does swing back and forth like that pendulum, because you don't know how to do it and nobody showed you how to do it. And so a lot of times you end up going too far, right? And then you, like you said, you feel guilty, so then you go back and you gotta find your middle ground. So yeah, the consultation is really the best first step. And then I can kind of best direct you from there. Or some people just like, look, I know this is what I want. Where do I sign up? I get a lot of
that's because you've reached that level of no return. It's like I found this revolving door, and it's like, look, she's everything that I need. I know I just need somebody in my life, and that's like therapy. Everybody needs therapy. I don't care who you are, what you're doing. We all need it. We say we don't. Oh, I'm good. I'm fine. Ain't nothing wrong with me. Well, you the prime candidate because ain't nothing wrong with you. And deep down inside, you've got something you've been battling,
We all have things that we've been battling, every single one of us. And again, we're human, right? We're all dealing with these things. Nobody is perfect. Nobody is supposed to be perfect. And so it's really just a matter of how you choose to deal with it and how you choose to live your life. And the reality is, if you don't get professional help, and I tell people this all the time, if you don't get professional help, you're going to live your life the way that it's been laid out for you by the people who raised you, by society, what you see, because all you're doing is mimicking what you saw.
That's right.
And if you don't want to do that anymore, then you need to get help to redefine it and choose a different way.
Right. It's so funny. My pastor said this week, he's been on a series of offense. And how is it that we sometimes, and not just women, men, but just in general, just women, how if our mothers were always offended and always hurt, we inherited. then our girls, our children are always easily offended, always hurt. You're not going to tell me, I'm going to get you before you get me, that sort of thing. And so we inherit the bitterness, the pain, the issues. And sometimes we don't even realize where it is because we were conditioned as children. You leave the room. That's grown-up conversation.
Yes, that was said to me too.
And so the problem is that the things that we should have been exposed to, now we're trying to sift through why we act the way we act.
Right.
We've seen glimpses, but we're not sure. But, my mother and I told her about my daughter. I said, there are some conversations. My mom was like, girl, you're not going to send out the room. And I'm like, no. I said, because I want her to understand what it took to be me. Me shielding her from my heartache, my pain, my frustrations on the job, my relationship, whatever. She needs to know what it took to be me so that she doesn't make the same mistake. So we basically have to heal together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It really is breaking the cycle of dysfunction that has been passed on from generations. And people want to talk about, slavery is over, but the remnants are still here. There's still a lot of behaviors that we still do and we've internalized in our DNA, to this day. And the reality is that if you don't do that own interpersonal work, you don't even figure those things out. Because like you said, a lot of the things that our parents did and our grandparents did was really out of fear and out of protection. And the problem is it didn't really protect us. It actually really hurt us. But they were doing the best that they could with what they knew because it was passed on to them.
Exactly.
And we just continue the cycle. And the reality is this is a new day. Things are not the same as they were when our parents, were being raised and when they were children. I mean, if you just think about how when our parents, I know I can speak, my parents grew up, they were first generation college. And what it was for them is you work a job, 30 years, you get your pension or whatever, and you retire. You can't do that anymore. You cannot do that anymore. First of all, they ain't giving you no pension.
No, not at all. Not at all.
So you can't even stay in the same place anymore. So you have to figure things out. It's not the same as it used to be. And so if you got to come up with the times and say, you know what? Even for myself, this is not the same as it's been. So I got to figure things out and do things differently because what worked back then or what didn't work back then is definitely not going to work now.
Oh, no. Definitely not.
I think that's what we live in that time where my mom, even like you were saying earlier, we mimic our parents. And I'm like, look, I can't do this. Like,
we do.
And it was so funny because even my kids say, you act so much like Mimi, You act so much like her.
And you like, no, I don't.
We fighting against it, and girl, we are.
So you're gonna be calling me out tonight. Yeah, you do. Yeah. Who you think you talk? You. Yes, you. But that's not the spirit though. But I try to pretend like it's not me. Like I was walking through the bathroom one night, got to use the bathroom in the middle of the night. I used to have my rollers in my head. Y'all walked past the mirror, I almost scared myself because I thought I was looking like my mama. It's those times when you have those. It's like that aha moment, like, for real. I sound like it. I even catch myself, the gestures, and you start to pick up a lot of their mannerisms. And I'm like, wow. And I have to remember, even my kids tell me, I can't treat them the way my mama treated me. Because a lot of times you look back and you say, you know what, we can't do that.
No.
The upbringing has changed. Our kids are exposed to way much more now.
Yeah, exactly.
God.
Yes, we were sheltered. We were really sheltered. Like we didn't have internet. We didn't have any of this.
No, exactly.
Yo, we had the beepers. And you look back, the payphone. But I tell my kids all the time, I'm thankful in the way I grew up in the era I grew up in. Because I have a better appreciation. And I think that's where a lot of us miss the mark. Is my kids are exposed to so much, but they get, but then you don't appreciate it.
You
don't appreciate it. And so, like even my daughter, she goes to therapy because I want my kids to be grounded. Being in college, I want you to get the help you need when those moments come. Those are the conversations you need to get help for.
Yeah.
And you don't want your kids to lack something because you said, well, I don't think, people always say, oh, you don't need counseling, you pray about it.
Oh, no.
God created about it and go to counseling.
Thank you.
Get therapy, get coaching, do your healing. Yes.
Yeah.
And
look,
it's a comma, not a period.
Yes.
Exactly.
Because a lot of people pretended like, oh, it ain't nothing wrong with you. Mental health was brushed under the rug.
Exactly.
In my mom and them time, that was not talked about. That was not a conversation. No, there's no such thing. My family fine. Ain't no mental health issues. No problem.
No. And again, as she stated, being in social work, I am definitely pro therapy.
Yes.
I've done therapy. And I think for the most part, as you stated, I'm certain you encounter more so now because African Americans are more now prone to mental health illnesses, problems, issues, diagnoses, and more now than before. And they're like, I don't know where it came from. No, it's because we've always had it.
It's
always been there, and we pushed it under the rug for the very reasons that you're mentioning. It was shameful. It was looked upon harshly. No, you're okay. They would keep you in the house so no one would see. We've been having these encounters without help, without assistance, without therapy, all this time. So now I'm so excited when I hear another Black woman say, girl, I'm in therapy. I'm like, girl, good. Because now it's so prevalent, especially coming out of where we are. Life is changing. People are going through so many identity crises and issues and concerns. It's now you have to be able to tap into someone other than you.
That's right.
Yeah. And what's so beautiful is that my clients are younger and younger.
Good.
I have clients who are in their early 20s. It used to be most of my clients were like late 30s, maybe to like 50s, 60s. Now I have these millennials coming in, and they're like, Miss Avalor, what I got to do? Because I'm not trying to live like my parents. So what I got to do now? Just tell me what to do. And I'm just like, okay.
Yeah.
They are really seeking me out, and they're making the investment.
Yeah.
And they're not scared of that. They're just like, I'm ready to do whatever it is that I need to do for myself because I'm trying to live my best life. And so they're not scared of the work.
Yeah.
That's the key thing. You could cut me a check all day and pay me. But are you doing the work? Because my time is valuable. And if you're not doing the homework, what's the point of paying me?
Yeah.
They do the work. They are ready. And that's a beautiful thing. Yeah, because they've seen it. They've seen what's happening. And again, they're exposed. And that's one good thing about the exposure. Them being exposed to so much more. They're like, I have a choice.
Right.
I don't have to live like this. Where we kind of thought we did. Yeah. We didn't think we had a choice. We just fell in line. Right. They're like, no, I don't have to do this.
Right.
And so it's that's one of the beautiful changes. And the other thing is, when I first started my business back in 2005, the majority of my clients were white.
Yeah.
And now the majority of my clients are Black women.
Yeah. Because we need it. I mean, kudos to that. Because it's necessary. Yes. It's so necessary for our healing, for our moving forward, to break generational curses, to do all of that. And here's the thing. I think I love women like Taraji P. Henson, who've been very, very much in the forefront about her mental health, condition, because we need to know signs and symptoms. Some of us are dealing with stuff we don't even know what that is. You know what I'm saying? True. So people who are becoming more vocal, I love it. And, you get the people online, oh, is she crazy? No, she's not. No, she's not. She's very much in tune to the fact that I need something bigger than me at the moment that will break me down so that I can build myself back up.
Yeah. A lot of what we see as crazy is just people acting out of their pain.
Yeah. Yes, I agree.
And fortunately and unfortunately, we have social media. So we're more likely to catch that now, acting out of their pain, where we got away with it.
Yeah. Oh, yes, exactly.
It's not that it didn't happen. It's just that it wasn't broadcast for everybody to see.
Mm-hmm. It was private. It was done in-house. It was sheltered from everybody. And that's typically how it is. And I think that's the amazing part about it. But with all that going on, what would you recommend to someone who is battling, going to see somebody and seeking help? What would be something you could tell them to help them get that help that they need?
Right.
Yeah. I think, so part of the issue I will say is that definitely first you got to acknowledge that you need help, and then you got to actually go through the process to get it. I think a lot of times people don't know where to go. They don't know where to start, and they don't know what kind of help they need.
Right.
Because all therapy is not the same. All coaching isn't the same. Do you need coaching? Do you need therapy? Do you need both? Right? Do you need energy healing? Like, people don't know. So they're kind of, on Google trying to figure stuff out, and they're all over the place.
Right.
Right. And then what happens is sometimes they might work with somebody and they say, oh, this didn't work. But the reality is maybe they needed something different, or they needed a different type of person to help them.
Right. Right.
So there's so many different factors to it. And then even a lot of people within the mental health system, really get caught up. I don't take insurance. As a life coach, I don't take insurance anyway. It's not covered. But a lot of people get caught up in, okay, well, this insurance only works for this person, and I don't want to work with these people, right? This insurance doesn't work for them. I only get a certain amount of sessions. I think Sean or somebody talked about a diagnosis. I don't necessarily want a diagnosis. So I tend to get clients, they don't want a diagnosis. They're like, I'm not crazy. I just need to work these things out. Right. And they also want something a little bit more active, where they are getting homework, they're getting meditations, they're, there's always work that I'm giving them. And so it's not just them sitting and talking, because they don't just sit and talk and I listen. Like, I'm gonna tell you, like, yeah, no.
That's what we need.
Leslie, no.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be a yes person. Yeah, you're supposed to tell me what I need to do. Yes, I need you to do this.
But that doesn't necessarily happen in therapy. So so part of it is like knowing like what works best for you. So a lot of times when my clients come, they know, they're like, I want a more active process. I've done therapy, it was good, but now I need to get to that next level. And so now I want to work with you for that, because I know I can't. I've gone about as far as I could in therapy. I need that next step.
Right.
So it's kind of, where are you in the process? And so, you really need somebody who's good, who's going to tell you, okay, this is probably, it sounds like you really need this. And so sometimes people will come to me and they'll say, I want coaching. And I'm like, you might want to go back and get some therapy and go through your insurance, and then come see me. Or they're at that space and I'm like, yeah, okay, you're ready for me. And this is what we're going to do.
Right.
You really need somebody to kind of guide you through that, because it is challenging. It was challenging for me as a professional sometimes to figure out. And so unfortunately, for a lot of people, that can be a deterrent for them to actually getting help, because they don't even know what to do and they don't know where to go.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true. And that's why people like
having shows like this, at least for people, the awareness, and then say, you know what, there's different kinds of help. Okay. I know so-and-so, at least that's the first step. I can talk to them and then take it from there.
Right. And just being able to know that it is a safe space. I'm really loving the time that we're in, because there's such an awareness and a liberation all over. You know what I'm saying? I mean, everything from the LGBTQ community. I love the way now they're finally coming to the forefront saying, I'm me, I'm who I am, and I'm comfortable with that. If we are suffering from mental illness, whether or not that's bipolar disorder, whether or not that's anxiety or whatever, we're okay with saying, hey, this is where I am, and there's nothing wrong with me. I just need to be fixed. I need some help. And it's okay, because that has been such a taboo. We don't want to say that. So, we're living in a crazy time, but I like this, that there are people out there like you, where I would feel a safe space to come and just, let me tell you where I'm struggling. And you tell me what I need to do.
And that's the only way that you can change. And I remember I was talking to another coach, and he said, it doesn't make any sense that so many people, they want to change and they want to transform, but then they don't want to invest in the help. He said, if you look at anybody that, that we see, any celebrity or anybody that, you look at an Oprah, you look at a Michael Jordan, you look at anybody who's great, they've had not just one person, not two people, not multiple people behind the scenes helping them, multiple coaches. Okay, I've had a coach for this. Now I'm ready for this level of coaching. And the reality is, average people are just going to live average lives. They're going to go to work. They're going to go home. They're going to pay the bills. They're going to go back to work, go home. And that's the life. But if you don't want to live an average life, if you want something different for yourself, if you want an extraordinary life, if you want to live in purpose, you want to leave a legacy, you want to make an impact, you need help.
Yeah.
And you need different types of help.
Yep.
I have so many people behind the scenes helping me. It's unreal. I
Right.
can't
Well,
even tell you how much
penicillin
money
doesn't
I've
cure
invested in
everything.
myself.
I teach people penicillin doesn't cure everything, so we have to find
The Robitussin.
Yeah, come on. They gonna put, you
As
know
Chris
what I'm saying? They're like,
Right.
I'm gonna just go get me some penicillin. I'm like, you know, it don't cure everything. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna go get some tussin.
But I think that's the amazing part, and I mean, and I hope our guests have an amazing takeaway this evening, because I mean, I really people to understand that self-care comes first, and you come first, because if there's no you, there's no business. If there's no you, there's no family, because then everything is separated and you detach from everything. And people don't realize is that once you lose you, you lose everything,
right?
Because nothing matters, because now you're trying to seek yourself out.
Yes.
And so I want everybody to take advantage, but let everybody know they can go to your website. How can they find you, track you down, hunt you down?
Just don't stalk me. Just don't stalk me. I've had some cyber stalkers. I mean, the good thing is I am Avalor. I am the only Avalor. I'm Googleicious. You can find me everywhere.
Yes, you
can
are.
Go to avalora.com, AVALAURA. That is my hub. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I'm on TikTok now, LinkedIn. So you can, whatever social media hub you enjoy, you can reach out there. You can also join my mailing list on my website. That's a really good way. I'm always letting my mailing list know first what's going on, where I'm at, how they can get involved, so many different things behind the scenes. So connect with me. I will always say hello. I look forward to hearing from you all, even if it's just to say I enjoyed your talk. And I get a lot of people, I'm sharing you with my sister. Girl, my cousin needs you. Girl, my mom.
Look, y'all better grab her. Y'all better grab her while you're still.
Grab her.
Y'all know, don't sit here and play like you don't need a therapist. Don't play like you don't need somebody just to talk to.
That's
Connect,
right.
Build a relationship. Hey, sometimes it may not work out, but get the help you need.
Yeah.
That's always what I want to say.
That you need. Yeah.
That you need. Because everybody may not be the therapist for you, but you've got to find somebody to get the help you need. But I thank you so much.
Yes,
for being with us. I love
it. Up in here helping the people.
Helping. Girl, I'm lopsided over here. Give me straight. Give me straight.
I did a whole lean back in the whole. I'm like, yes, everything she said, that part.
Look.
Well, I hope even this, has helped somebody. That's always
it helped me.
My goal. That is always my goal. That that's my intention. That's the prayer that I say before wherever stage that I'm on.
Right.
That whatever it is that comes up through this process, whatever is rebirth, whatever is discussed, that it helps you in some way.
Right.
That's phenomenal.
Well, I've been helped, so I don't know about the other folks, but I personally have been helped. Yes.
But I thank you, y'all. Look, there we go, y'all. Look, there you go. Always somebody fresh. Y'all bring something new to the table. All. That's the time. The time is now. So get the help you need to be the best person that you can be, because we're always growing, and we haven't arrived. I always got room to grow and be better than I was yesterday, last year, and so forth and so on.
Right.
But thank you so much for being with us this evening.
Thank you for having me.
Yes,
it's been a pleasure. It's been fun.
Yeah, I know, girl. That's how we got
I'm gonna be in your inbox, girl.
All right.
Don't you be a stalker.
I'm gonna be talking. I'm gonna say, Avalor, don't be playing like you don't know this me in here, girl.
What? Be like, you know who I am. Stop playing.
Look, I'm gonna say, girl, it's me, girlfriend Chit Chat me. You know me.
She gonna be like, block.
She gonna say, girl, I went on the show, and every time I turn around, there she is.
Listen, I've had people following me for years. I'll never forget. This was so many years ago, but one of my really good clients, she said, I've been following you for 3 years. And she said, I'm finally ready.
Yeah.
And I said, wow. All right.
So we never know who's watching. We never know who's watching.
Never know.
That's why we always have to make sure that we're together, because we have eyes on us. Yes. And you know what? And God will let them know when it's time.
That's
absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so this has been an awesome blessing. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
I tell you, girl, you know what? I need to get me some help.
You need some help.
Girl needs some therapy, y'all. Don't be playing, y'all. You know you need, but y'all, we can't, we still chatting it up, y'all. But you all, I have an amazing young lady that has an amazing product that's about to launch on the 31st of March. And she is what? She's the feature tonight. She is the sponsor of tonight's show. So we're gonna go to a quick commercial interruption so you can see what the sister got coming up, because we're about to talk about it when we come right back. Yo! Oh, yo! The connection, what, the networking Bible? Y'all, look. Look, she had to come in the room, y'all. Look at this.
Come on in the room.
You're like somebody grandma with my curls and my glasses.
That's all right.
Y'all, first let me just say this episode was so amazing because I'm in the background listening, watching, and handling my kids. Like, I am super tired, but I was like, and this is why I go to therapy.
Yeah.
So, Avalor, thank you so much. You guys know me. I'm Shauna Price. I'm the connection guru. And what I do, right? Because Amira was like, you got to tell these people what you really do, right? But I position women entrepreneurs and their CEOs for the right relationships. And what that means is that I consult in networking. I teach networking. I teach relationship building, relationship management, because so goes the CEO, so goes their team. Yeah. What happens internally will filter out externally. So I believe that it is important for us to become more intentional about how we're connecting and networking. Not only that, though, your team has to not only know how to network for the company, but also for themselves, right? They have to know who they want to connect with. They have to know who the company needs to connect with. Right. They have to know how to position those relationships in themselves so that the end result is collaborations, clients, and checks. Right. So the networking planner is a start for that, right? Yeah. I created a planner because we was having this conversation, me and a girlfriend of mine, and she was like, you ever seen a baker planner? Because she's a baker. And I was like, nah, you ever seen a networking one? She was like, no. And she was like, we should create them. And this was like a year ago. And I did that because I started thinking about how people can become more intentional just through the planner, right? Right. People use planners all the time for their day-to-day interactions, life, whatever the case may be. If you see my recent post, it's like, I am a mom, working or not. And this is why the planner is needed, right? Right. And so I'm very excited about the Networking Bible. It is where networking meets intention. It is where you're able to sit down and think about the people, the industries that you want to connect with, the people you want to connect with. Right. Write down those monthly events that you want to go to connect, right? And let's not get it twisted, because if y'all know anything about me, I'm gonna tell y'all can network anywhere. Network in the grocery store as soon as you get a chance, right? Right. My favorite place. But it helps you to be more intentional. And the way that the Networking Bible is designed, it still does give you the opportunity for creating a calendar for things, your to-do list, your weekly things that you need to get done. But there's also the introvert corner where introvert can kind of reflect on how their networking has been, how their connecting has been. Right. It's like a space for them to just kind of sit back with themselves, because introverts, they get their energy from within. So it's a good time for them to sit down and say, okay, this is what it really looked like for me today, right? Then there's also the space and area for you to, like I said, do the events. Write these events down that you want to attend. Write down these 3 top industries or the 3 top people that you would really love to connect with, right? Because what are most people going to say? No, yes, you don't know until definitely a no if you don't never reach out to them. But a yes may be on the way. And so we have that. We have like your social media connection where you're sitting down thinking about the posts, people you want to connect with there. And then one of my favorite parts of the planner is it says stay connected, but it's for you to write down 2 to 4 people that you want to connect with that is already in your network.
Right.
So that you can continue to nurture that relationship. Yes. Because whether you believe it or not, or realize it or not, your networks have networks.
Yes, they do.
All day long.
All day, every day, right? And so I'm very excited. It's going to be dropping on March the 31st at 2 p.m. Unless you're on my mailing list. If you're on my email list, then it will be dropping at 10 a.m. for you guys to go out and purchase, along with the Connection Collection. And the Connection Collection are the t-shirts that everybody's wearing in the video. Those are just a few t-shirts that I have that have different sayings on them to keep you in mind of connecting, right? So I thank you first for allowing me to even come into my time. Look, I was like, let me put these glasses on right fast because I have no makeup. I think I got eyeliner right here.
Look, that's all right. You know, hey, y'all gotta get it. Look, y'all. At the end of the day, we're about doing things and we want to be present and be seen so people know what you're trying to do. Absolutely. Anything you're trying to launch, and I'm just excited and thrilled.
It's nice.
You're launching your plan.
Hold up, y'all can't see it. There it goes. Wait, it went out. There it goes.
Oh, there it is.
Nice. It's sturdy. This tab right here, I always like to show this little tab because the way it's designed is that I didn't want it to be completely calendar specific. And what I mean by that is when you buy it in March, that starts your year. It doesn't start, you haven't missed January and February, so to speak. So you can fill in your years, and those tabs are the months. So you can put your months in the way that you need to put them in. So that was going to be definitely beneficial. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm nervous. I'm real excited. I'm just believing God is going to do what it's supposed to do and bless those who it's supposed to bless.
Exactly.
That's it. That's how you have to walk in it, y'all. When you walking out and you're going to launch something, it's always the jitterbugs and the excitement, but knowing who is going to benefit, and it's going to benefit everybody that it's meant to.
Right.
Everybody that buys it is wanting to buy it for a purpose. And I know everybody who's networking and who wants to take their networking to the next level will definitely purchase that networking Bible.
Yes, please get your Bible.
Please get your Bible. No, you need to get that too, y'all. Don't get it twisted. You need your Bible too.
Get your Bible. Get your Bible.
Get your Bible. Right. Networking Bible and go service. Be of service, right?
That's
I want people to begin to understand that. That's important. There's even a section that kind of has a reflection on what your month was like, what you're looking forward to for the next month, some note section. So it's had some feedback with the people who tested it. I did a focus group, but it's worked.
Always necessary.
Always necessary. Always necessary. But as always, all good things come to an end. As always, y'all. I got my girlfriends. I miss our conversation. I know I do. Call your girlfriend. Have a conversation with them, y'all. Laugh, joke, cut up, and have a good time. And as always, we thank you for being a part of the Girlfriends Chit Chat Show. As always, we'll see you next Friday. Same time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time or 6 p.m. Central. You better come here and check your sisters out. Y'all have a fabulous weekend. Talk to you later.